Good evening, everyone, and welcome to episode 2 of the Full Broadsword. When we last left our adventurers, at this point, we know there's a halfling somewhere, which we haven't met. We have a guard captain, a whole bunch of guards, Merrick, Marcus the Ranger, and a paladin named Ed. we're
Ed.
Just Ed, yeah. We're hanging out in the encampment. We had just dealt with a terribly unruly boar and some horrible dice rolls. But here we are back for episode 2. So
Did you trade your dice in or take them back and get a refund?
I have not yet, but I am going to go figure that out in just a hot second. But let's go from the let's see, I've got the splash screen. Let's go back to the window so everybody can see our fancy little encampment. And meanwhile, I will have to figure out where in the hell I changed my dice. I know there was a way to do it at one point. Maybe it's over here. Nope. I did it the other day when I was playing around with this thing. Now I just gotta figure it all out. All right.
I think it's in your settings on your account stuff somewhere, I believe, because I saw it somewhere.
My dice, there it is. There we go. Back to the red and black ones, because the black and white sucked. Okay. Now that I'm here,
I think Jake tilted the table.
Maybe,
Yes.
yeah. All right, I want to try something here. I'm gonna just click an initiative roll just for the heck of it here to make sure it shows up. And it did. Okay, good.
Ooh, yeah. Where was that?
Yeah, I know. Well, hey, that makes me happy because that might mean that these dice are better. So.
Or you just wasted it right there.
Yeah. All right. Well, we're zoomed in on the map, so we can turn this over to our DM whenever he is ready to go.
All right, I'm uploading a really quick, what we considered a handout. Let me load this up here. So as we return back to the camp, we can see the encampment here. Sitting around, yeah, there you go. Yeah, got to see.
Yeah, a little ambiance. Very nice.
Little nighttime. Around the campfire and amongst the tents and the wagons, pretty secure camp. We have Edward, the wayward paladin, who's been pretty beat up by the boar. And Edward and the guards have invited Marcus back to the campfire. Around the campfire is Merrick, and you see an unidentified halfling. And I'm going to load up a better picture of him here.
It's going to be a small picture.
Yeah.
Sorry, that was meant to be funny, but it'd
be a half-size picture.
It went over like a fart in church. My bad. Freaking crickets are already playing, so it's perfect.
All right, here goes a picture of the halfling, and this is what you see sitting around the fire next to Merrick. And now we introduce my character, whose name is Kai, Kai. Kai is a, let me pull up my character sheet here. Kai is what we call, appears to be in, you know what, let's do, what can we do here? Both of you make...
Oh, here it comes.
Neither one of us actually neither one of us actually introduced ourselves to each other. So
yeah,
in the last episode,
do a history check as you guys are looking at Kai. Make a history check.
Oof. Oof.
Okay, Marcus.
That was a natural one, by the way.
Oh,
You've never seen such a small character before.
you have a. No, that wasn't a natural one. That was a +1.
Yep. It was a 7 with a plus.
So you rolled a 7 + 1. Okay.
Oh, yeah, I did. Sorry.
Yep. Otherwise, we would roll under the critical failure.
Oh boy, yeah.
Which is an interesting table. There's some pretty funny results that I added in there as well, just to kind of
Cool,
make the game a
yeah.
little interesting. So, yeah, as you guys come back to the fire, no need to role play. You've introduced yourselves, kind of, this is where we're at. And basically, on your walk back to camp, Edward is going to explain to Marcus, "Hey, I'm working for this merchant. He's traveling up into Neverwinter, and when you get back to camp, Merrick is going to give you the eyeball, and is basically in a very kind of a calculating way as he talks with you, saying, I could always use another sellsword to get me north on the high road, and I will pay you both 5 gold a week with an additional 5 gold bonus once we clear the other side of the mire of dead men." And so with that, everyone has agreed to at least stick with Merrick the merchant as they travel north around the mire of the dead men. So let me take Kai down. Everybody get a good look at Kai. I don't need to.
Yep. Everybody's been able to see him in all his halfling glory.
Could you tell him to stand up, please?
Yes. Well, the real Kai. Please stand up.
Right.
Sorry.
With that, I need to take a brief pause because I need to send Edward a message here.
Okay. How's it getting to me? Carrier pigeon or text
private message on
message?
Discord.
Okay. I was going to say, how are we getting there? That is awesome ambiance, by the way. Yeah. Bang up.
You like that?
KJ. Yeah, I like it. Little roaring fire. Yeah.
Uh-huh. That's the stuff that's in the voice mod. It's under the RPG fantasy stuff.
Ah, sweet. Yeah, I haven't even looked at that. You know what? You can be our soundboard guy. I'll just throw a couple stupids in there every once in a while, but that'll save me from having to worry about that stupid thing.
Well, I tried to download a bunch of things when I could, when I had time.
That's cool. I like it.
Guess that's one of the benefits of having that sound mod or voice mod pro thing that they did when they did that one time pro for the rest of your life thing. Yeah, that was worth it.
Okay. I just sent a message to Edward. That is your information and yours to keep or disseminate as you will.
Okay.
Now my question is do I notice that they're conversing quietly together?
No, this is not a conversation. This is the result of his history check.
Okay.
So let me get back to the camp of Merrick.
No worries.
There we go. So Merrick introduces the rest of his entourage. The guards, or he just calls them guards. He really doesn't speak with them at all. They are you notice right away that they are of a lower station than him. And Edward, also being from you instantly recognize this right away. This is a man of a higher station, and so it's almost like you're definitely conversing somebody from home, so it kind of tugs on your heartstrings a little bit to be able to talk to somebody familiar with your the area, also coming from Merrick also will introduce the halfling next to him and say, "This is my associate Kai." Kai will be joining us for the journey, and Kai, I've already shown you a picture. looks like almost like he's communicating with Merrick through like nods and body language. He doesn't say too much. Maybe an odd hand gesture or two, but there's definitely communication going on between the two of them, although you may or may not hear the exact words that they're saying, but there's definitely they understand each other through without
An,
really
kind of an unspoken vibe.
yeah, kind of sort of.
Yeah.
Now here is a GM freebie that I'm going to, or a Dungeon Master freebie I'm going to throw at you. Be cognizant of your skills as I'm throwing clues and plot lines and hooks and stuff out there. We all have a basic set of skills, for example, such as investigation, history, insight is another good one. And at any given time, you would like to do a skill check, just announce it out, say, hey, I've noticed this communication between them, and so I would like to do an insight to see if I can kind of tune into what they're talking about. And that would be an example of wanting to take an active check on something. So feel free at any given time to interject with any type of a skill check or an ability check that you would like to do. So that's a GM freebie for you.
Okay.
Right on.
With that being said, Merrick will instruct Edward to help himself to the first aid crate so that he can bind his wounds. Unfortunately, we don't have a healer here in the camp. Merrick will tell you, but you're more than welcome to, bind your wounds and see yourself fit so that in the morning that we could possibly, pack up tents and and head out. Through the course of the night and talking about the travel and just periodic small talk around the table is kind of the gist of the conversations. So
Right on. Will a long rest heal any hit points?
yes.
Okay, I've only got 2 left to heal till I'm full, so
So let's talk about short rests and long rests. Short rests and long rests. A short rest is when the party declares that they're going to take a short rest. It's an uninterrupted rest period of approximately an hour long, where nobody's doing anything strenuous, no activities, and basically you're kind of hanging out by the campfire, cooking a meal, or maybe thumbing through your spell book and et cetera, et cetera. During the short rest, you gain basically recharge certain skills. Certain spells, according to your character sheet, will also recharge. It's all dependent on the spell description. Certain schools of magic or schools of healing have different recovery periods, depending on the character and the character class. But most importantly, is you can recover health points during short rests. You are allotted 1 hit die per level that you can recover during a short rest. So in this case, since we are first level, you have 1 hit die, and you are able to roll 1 of your hit die, which I believe, let me pull up your character sheet here. If you look under your current health points, I want to say you're a D10 hit die. Am I correct in saying that?
I have no idea how to tell you.
Okay. As a paladin fighter class, I want to say that you're, and so for right now, we will just say it is a 1d10 hit die. So if you would like to use your 1d10 hit die to recover during a short rest, that's fine, and that is considered 1 hit die off of your hit die pool. Now, if we were 3rd level, we would have up to 3 hit die that we could use during a short rest to recover health. You have to kind of use those, or they're a finite resource, because you will not recover those hit die until what you take is considered a long rest. A long rest is an uninterrupted period of time that's approximately 8 hours long. If you don't complete a long rest, you then of course have to start another long rest period. And oftentimes things may happen if you're in the middle of a dungeon crawl. You might, a random
Sure.
encounter which would interrupt that long rest, et cetera, et cetera, et cetera. For the purpose of learning, though, we will be allowed to conduct a long rest as the evening wears on into the morning. At the end of a long rest, you recover all of your hit points and all of your hit die that you expended during short rests.
Right.
Does that make
And
sense?
yep. And then my healing pool for my Lay On of Hands will replenish in a long rest as well. Good.
Correct.
But I will have to wait until you tell us we've successfully completed a long rest. So
yeah.
So I'm sure there's nefarious things afoot.
Oh, there are always things that are afoot at the Circle K.
Yeah.
How come there's never a hand? It's always a foot. Why a foot?
Yeah,
Why not a hand?
Because nobody walks around on their hands, I guess. I don't know.
I guess so.
Is there any other actions during this brief downtime that anybody would like to do? Take opportunity of consulting. If some characters are book readers, they want to jump into and take a history lesson in a book, or spellcasters or druids like to gather, spell components because they see a thing of moss in the trees or whatever. During this time while we hang out and converse around the fire. Any other actions that anybody else would like to take?
Well, myself, I will sit quietly thanking Tempest for this meal that's we're cooking over the wonderful raging fire here. And I'm going to eat a little bit of boar because, damn it, that was a hard fight.
I was wondering, could I do an insight check to see, what kind of mood or intentions this Kai person really has?
Absolutely. Go ahead and roll an insight ability check.
Worried he's a
and I'm
carny?
going to give you a target number of 10.
That was a
And
15.
you rolled a 15. So your perception of Kai as you observe him around the campfire, he doesn't talk a lot. He's quiet. He does, and when I say talk a lot, he doesn't converse in the conventional way. If you were to ask him a question, he may give you a nod or a yes or a no. But he's not very much a conversationalist. However, he does seem to be carrying on quite a busy conversation with Merrick through the use of hand gestures, nods, and sometimes even without saying anything, they both will kind of nod and shake their heads yes or no, or shrug their shoulders. But it just doesn't seem that they're actually communicating with words. Kai is, you get a sense of, he's non-threatening, and anytime he kind of keeps to himself, but anytime, like, say, if something needs to be turned on the fire, he's very busy and he's very diligent about ensuring that the fire doesn't go out. So he's very attentive when it comes to duties around the camp.
Okay.
If there's any questions or anything you would like to ask, by all means, we can role play.
With outside of the role play, are you able to add? Well, is the DM going to add Kai into the list so that I can show people the character sheet as well?
Yes, I will.
Okay.
Not yet.
Okay, yeah.
But
Let me know when you do. That way I can pull it up so that people can see the halfling. But yeah, probably when we uncover more about this shifty-eyed little guy.
Of his background, and then eventually, once you've figured him out, we will be revealed.
All right. Little secrecy, I like it. Well, I'm good.
Else?
Yeah.
Okay. All right. Well, as the fire starts to crackle low and the evening wears on and goes into the night, Merrick kind of clears his throat and as if to draw attention to himself, and holds his mug drink that he's drinking, and he's drinking not the barrel ale that everybody else would be having, or water. He appears to be pouring a bottle into his mug, some sort of a bottle, and he kind of stands as the fire is getting low, and he kind of silhouettes himself against the moonlight, and his voice comes quiet, and he kind of, very seriously, and softly he looks at everybody. He says, "Well, I didn't think that I'd have to say this, but I need you, gentlemen." And he says, "We're heading towards the town of Saltmarsh. It's a port town, but it's not just another port town. It's as if it was a wound that has never quite been healed on the land. Something is festering there. Smugglers, cults, relics that should have stayed buried. I don't know. But whatever it is, now I have a feeling that it's starting to wake up." And with that, he pulls a weathered map from a satchel next to him, and he kind of lays the map out and shows you the map, of which we kind of saw earlier, which is the coastal town of the Sword Coast. And on the map, with faded ink and maybe what looks like a little bit of fresh blood on the map, he has the town of Saltmarsh is kind of circled on the map. And Merrick continues on. He says, "I've followed whispers from Baldur's Gate to Neverwinter. Every trail and every lead always seems to end in the town of Saltmarsh. There's a man there. His name is Ingo the Drover. But I don't think that he is who he claims to be. He knows what's coming, and he's guarding something powerful or dangerous, or possibly maybe both." And with that, he looks everybody, to include Kai, square in the eye. He kind of mysteriously looks around the fire. He says, "But I can't face this alone. Not again. Last time I tried, I lost good people. But this time I have you. And if we move
Rappy
now
people.
together, yeah, if we move now together, we might stop whatever's clawing its way out of the deep."
Well,
he
as long
folds
as
the
it's
map.
not a giant boar like we just faced, I think we have a chance. But
And as he folds the map up, he finishes by saying, "Come with me to Saltmarsh. Of course I'll pay you handsomely, but not for the coin, not for the glory, but for the truth, for the chance to stop something before it spreads. Saltmarsh is calling, and I think that it is calling us."
So what happened to the first crew?
yeah, I'd like to know that story.
Merrick will sit back and stroke his beard and his goatee and say, "That is a tale for another time.
Damn it.
I had hired some lower skilled men at arms, and they didn't fare too well. I think the last time that they were very ill prepared for whatever bumps in the night, and cracks the branches through the trees in the time when the moon is full and the mist hangs low. But I have a good feeling about you guys, and you seem better prepared, and to travel with me to Saltmarsh. And there's coin, there's a promise of profit, but again, we're not doing this for glory. We're doing this to seek the truth. And with that, he sits back on his log and pours himself another mug of something out of the bottle that he seems to be favoring this evening.
Could I do a perception check to see if there's anything he's hiding? As far as not telling us, what the whole story is.
What specifically? Because perception is more of things that you will visually notice. I think what
Okay.
you're thinking of is more of an insight, which is getting a feel of the mood or the the body language kind of a thing.
Right. I can do that instead. That's fine.
Yeah, let's make an insight roll. And I will give you a target number of 10, and it's a 19. You get the impression that Merrick is sincere and he's passionate. You don't think that he's being deceptive, and if he is, you're not able to tell. Kai is also nodding his head in agreement, along with Merrick, and you get the perception that Kai is on board with heading to Saltmarsh as well.
Okay. So I feel that this is something that's important.
Absolutely.
A vast importance, not just on a whim, just not like personal gain. This is something bigger than that.
This is something on a much larger scale than, the 10 of us or the 7 of us sitting around the campfire at night. It's definitely something of a larger, things are afoot, and it's of a larger scale.
Okay.
Could I
Edward.
roll
Yes,
a history check to see if I would have any knowledge of this Saltmarsh? Any rumors or stuff that I may have heard?
Let me look at your background notes really quick to determine a difficulty level. Hang on a second.
Sure.
Because a lot of this, or some of this, might have to deal with your background. Yes, make a history check, and I'm going to give you, which is what we call a normal difficulty level. So your target number is going to be 10.
All right. Hey.
And you roll an 18. So what you can gather from also being a resident of of course, like I discussed, is run by the mercantile companies. You're not quite sure which mercantile company Merrick is working for. He hasn't displayed any symbols or signs or insignia or anything as of yet. But you do know from growing up in the area that there are, as with any large city, there's factions within factions. Let me pull up one moment. Bear with me.
No worries.
You do know, through your dealings with whispers when you're growing up, maybe perhaps around when your father was in charge of the watch, correct? The chief inspector? Oftentimes,
he was one of the 6. Yeah.
Yes, one of the 6, and oftentimes
Edward was the chief inspector of one of the guard crews. Yeah,
that's right. So during your time as a chief inspector, interviewing, interrogating prisoners, investigating crimes, you definitely have heard several inferences to the Black Network. The Black Network is you weren't quite able to crack who the Black Network was, but from what you could gather through your investigations while working in is that they were one of the mercantile companies, and they were quite gaining momentum and political power amongst the city factions. And so based on your history check, you know that the Black Network is probably, it's been some time since you've been in but maybe the Black Network is maybe reaching out and moving out of and north up the Sword Coast, perhaps spreading their influence, is kind of what you will glean from that with your history check.
Okay, so they may or may not have some things going down up in the Saltmarsh.
Correct.
Okay.
Possibly.
Who knows?
Again,
we'll find out.
Yeah. you do know from your dealings with them that if the Black Network indeed, and if it were found out that they did reach out from on and work up the coast and start infiltrating the small port towns along the Sword Coast, that it would bear bad tidings and bad news, because you're talking they would gain a foothold on all of the shipping and the trading, and controlling the port towns would be very powerful, especially for you know what? Make another history check, and this time I'm going to give you a more difficult target, a target number of 20.
Oh boy. Nope.
Okay, so yeah, you can't quite recall or recollect, but basically going back to your gut feeling of, indeed, if the Black Network were indeed reaching out and starting to spread to these towns, it's bad news for everybody up and down the coast.
Oh, good enough.
Marcus?
Can I do a nature check to see what kind of animals and things we may encounter on this way?
Absolutely. For you, that shouldn't be too difficult. We will give you a target number of 10. And you rolled an 11.
Barely made it.
Yep, let's go back to the map here. Is it going? There we go. Okay. So we know, and I'm going to point on the map here, we know that we are encamped here, if you can see me circling down by Thornhold, kind of on the high road out of Thornhold. We know that Merrick needs to travel his caravan north along the high road around the Mire of Dead Men into Saltmarsh, and Saltmarsh is the target destination. You can deduce that in the specific area that you're in, which is going to be on the steps of the Sword Mountains, moving on to the Mire of Dead Men, that there's traces of animal sign and things that you have seen through your wanderings. Is the closer you get to the mire, the less animal sign that you see.
Right. More common animals, in other words.
No animals.
Deer. No, I know. I mean, up until that point, it's mostly common animals, like deer,
common
boar,
animals.
rabbits. Yeah.
Yeah.
Right.
know, deer,
right.
goat,
Huge friggin' boars.
Yeah, boars.
Yeah, boars.
However, you do know through your wanderings around in the area that the closer that you kind of wander near the Mire of Dead Men, there's no animal sign at all.
Right.
Like not even coastal creatures, no crabs,
right?
No fish, floating in the ocean or anything. So that kind of will set you off a little bit. It's a little bit unusual.
Right. But nothing out of the ordinary as far as on the way there. I have not come across anything. Oh, I don't know. Abnormally big.
And that is to have sharks with frickin' laser beams attached
exactly.
to their heads.
None of those, eh?
Let me see. Do you have an animal handling? You should. An animal handling skill?
Yes.
Let's make an animal handling check. 10. I'm going to give you that one, an animal handling check. You do know signs specifically that you have seen in this area are actually footprints and sign of animals that you don't recognize.
Okay. That would make sense.
Mixed in with human footprints. There are some signs of aerial predators.
Okay.
And other footprints you just don't recognize. That's kind of
right.
What you know.
Right.
And from your wanderings of kind of wandering near or close to the Mire of Dead Men, you've never actually gone into it. You do know from what you've observed, it's a fog-choked saltwater swamp along the coast.
Mm-hmm.
And both of you make another history check. 19.
Oops.
And Edward's 3. So
a 1, natural 1, by the way.
Oh, a natural 1.
Yeah, buddy.
We will not do a critical skill fumble on this one since we're sitting around the fire. But
I slip and fall face first into the fire.
Well,
I nodded off. I nodded off. My bad.
Roll a d20. Let's just see what comes up on the chart.
Right, yeah.
A 7.
I was gonna say he thinks about it and then he goes.
As we sit around the fire, kind of discussing and listening to Merrick's tale and his bid to get you to follow him to Saltmarsh, you are distracted by dust to the point that you sneeze, cough, and kind of flinch, and you lose your concentration momentarily.
Okay, that wasn't so bad.
Squirrel.
Could be worse.
KJ, Marcus will know in talking with folks that have gone around the swamp, the Mire of Dead Men. It is. Let me find my notes here. You do know that you've heard tales and rumors and eyewitness accounts of the Mire possibly being haunted. Crawling with creatures that thrive in decay, graveyards. It's an ecosystem of predators and scavengers, and you've even heard tales of supernatural horrors coming out of those that have wandered into the mire and have returned alive and somewhat physically unscathed, but mentally that's a different story.
It's a living nightmare.
Yeah. You do know, because Merrick did point it on his map, that Saltmarsh is on the northern end of the Mire Dead Men, and you do, both of you, it's common knowledge that the high road skirts around the swamp or the mire, so you won't actually be going through it, but you'll be traveling, you'll be able to see it from the roadway, and it would be one of those, if you left the roadway and wandered off a few hundred yards, then you would definitely be within the swamp. But
yeah, that would be the low road. Yeah, we don't want to take the low road.
Merrick assures you that no shortcuts will be taken. They will definitely take the long road,
the main road.
Yep, the main road around, and the destination would be Saltmarsh.
So no rodents of unusual size.
Yeah, rodents of unusual size in the, what is it, the Swamp of Despair?
Yes.
Yeah. Anything else that you would like to ask or check or converse?
I'm ready for the long rest to get underway.
I can't think of anything else right now.
Yeah.
Okay, so with that,
besides, who takes first watch?
Well, we got like 8 guards. They can.
Yeah, they're
underlings.
It will be a full night's rest under the watchful eye of the guard captain and the caravan guards. They seem to be alert and on point tonight. So we will credit everybody with a long rest, and we will fast forward to the morning. No random encounters, and we are packing up the camp and ready to take the high road around the mire of dead men on into Saltmarsh.
Yay!
Yay! And there was much rejoicing.
Much rejoicing, yeah.
All right, let me bring up.
And there was much rejoicing.
And there was much rejoicing. One moment, take a brief pause here. Let me bring up my next map.
And now for something completely different.
Yeah.
Yes, and now for something completely different.
Like I said, everybody, we're old.
Yes.
Hopefully you should see the map popping up.
We do
Yeah,
indeed.
I had to move it up.
Okay.
Yeah, and I'm centering it and zooming in so that viewers at home can see this.
Okay, so a rather uneventful journey. Everyone is disappointed. No random encounters with Draco liches or ghost ships flying out of the fog. It was rather an uneventful and disappointing journey around to the entrance of Saltmarsh.
Oh, cool.
As you travel, is there anything that you would like to investigate while on the road or traveling around the mire? Anything, any actions, non-combat, of course, anything that you would like to pursue or ask? Now would be the time to do it concerning your journey to Saltmarsh via the high road around the Mire of Dead Men.
I would ask our merchant leader, whose name escapes me at the moment.
Merrick.
There's a lot of M's in here.
Yes.
Merrick, I would ask, what's our first stop when we hit the Saltmarsh, as we are nearing it?
Yes. The first stop, of course, is going to be the oldest tavern in town, which is aptly named the Wicker Goat. The Wicker Goat is owned by a friend of mine named Lankus Curried, who is a retired military officer, and he will see to us getting bedded down and provisions.
Okay. I was messaging. That wasn't me clicking, by the way, but I was messaging Marcus that, hey, that's you got some background, and here
Marcus.
it's our cart traveling.
It's our traveling.
What's our traveling cart?
Oh, okay. It's traveling music. My bad. I didn't know. I didn't know. Okay.
Oh, yeah.
So ignore the keyboard. They don't exist in this game.
I was gonna say, as we were passing through the marsh, do I notice anything outside of what I've already remembered and heard about the marsh? Does anything else pop up that's different or unique that I saw as we were passing by the marsh?
Well, you have to be a little bit more specific.
Do I notice any creatures from the side of from our vantage point on the road that I could see through the fog or into the marsh?
No.
Okay.
Not while you're on the road.
Okay.
Nothing jumps out at you. It just appears, even though the mist, even though it's daytime in the middle of the day, even at the highest noon where the sun is the brightest, there just seems to be an impenetrable mist around the mire. You can't really peer into it. However, if you would like to wander off the road and to check for things, we can develop that.
Oh boy.
Sure.
A ranger with a death wish. I like it. Fun.
I just gotta know.
Remember what they said? Curiosity and the cat.
Yep.
All right. Let me find the map.
And our caravan comes to a screeching halt.
Caravan comes to a screeching halt.
Yeah.
All right, take a brief moment while I find the map here.
This is where I need Jeopardy music.
Right?
Well, I have swamp music too, or swamp sound effects too, so.
Well, maybe. Might as well do something.
I mean, come on, we can't just walk to the town and have nothing happen. Come on.
No.
We're adventurers. Come on, we need adventure.
Yeah, right.
I want to see if that leg of yours is really healed up.
Yeah. Seems to be. That red sticky stuff stopped coming out of it, so must be good. Doesn't hurt anymore. Amazing what a good night's sleep will get you.
Mm-hmm.
Oh boy, here it is. Yep, coloring all the pretty road. It's nice that they highlighted the road in red so we can easily stay on it.
Okay.
Looks like a red brick road, but we'll take it.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
We go skipping down it.
So, would you like to ping the map for me, if you will, of where you would like to wander off from the road and into the mists of the mire of dead men?
This is our up here. Let's see, where is it?
We camped on the bottom, yeah.
Up here is where we is our stopping point, correct?
No, you were down at Thornhold is where you were at.
That's where we camped, yeah.
Yes, yeah, that's where we camped. But this is where we were heading to,
Oh,
right? Correct?
I see what you're saying. It's pronounced Lylon. From Lylon, you will basically leave the road, the main road and the secondary roads. They are established, but not quite the main highway over west into Saltmarsh. So that is correct. Around this area here is where you will depart the main road.
Okay, that's where I was asking.
Yeah. So let me uncover that for you. Here.
Okay, there we go.
Saltmarsh, yep.
Okay, that would make sense. So I would say that since we were almost getting to here, that I would probably divert like right around in this area.
Okay. So it's typical marshy. I mean, it's the misty. You can't see very far. Maybe 100 yards in front of you. Visibility is very poor. The more that you wander off of the main thoroughfare, and you can definitely see where the worn secondary road and the wagon trails skirt around. Nothing appears to go directly into the mire. And so there's really no established path. There's not even a goat trail or a deer path or anything. It's just as if the area is devoid of all natural, wildlife that you would normally see indigenous to a coastline.
Okay.
The further that you wander off of the surface of the road onto the grass, onto the dirt, the more it starts getting wetter and swampier. And if you keep wandering, you notice that you're starting to get into ankle deep, water. And the water is very black and brackish, and there's like little islands of tufts of dead grass or dead some sort of a weed poking up. And so it's kind of covered half. It's swamp. You have patches of dry land surrounded by patches of dark, murky water, and that's what you can see so far.
Sounds like some deep thought going on over there.
Yeah, I'm trying to think of how we want to proceed here.
That's all you, buddy.
Fine, me. Can I go just a little bit further into the marsh?
How far would you like to go?
About 20 feet.
20 feet. So you can still see the roadway and the crew, the caravan. Merrick appears to be somewhat annoyed that you have stopped the caravan to wander into the brackish water.
You're getting in trouble already.
Yeah, I mean the water. It's anywhere it's between ankle to shin deep. It just kind of ups and downs. It doesn't really, it's swamp. It's not like an open lake or an open water or anything. It's just swampy and damp and stinky.
Can I do a perception check to see if I notice anything?
Absolutely. What are you specifically looking for? And then I will give you a difficulty.
To see if there's any creatures moving about in the mist. If I could see any shadows or any forms moving in the mist.
Beans, as you're not familiar with the territory, in other words, if this is about the closest you've ever been, I'm going to give you a moderate difficulty of 15. 15 will be your target number.
All right.
And you rolled a 15. There is no sign of movement that you can see within the 100 yards of into the marsh. However, you do notice that the more you walk into the marsh, the more that the fog and mist seems to be drawn to you. In other words, the more you walk in, the thicker and the less visibility that you have.
Okay.
Meaning, should you wander another 50 yards in, you would be completely covered with mist and probably would have difficulty seeing the road from wandering in because it would just kind of, the mist would gather around you.
Okay. All right. Let's meander back towards the road.
I was going to say, yeah, you don't have another character handy like I do. Better head back to the road, buddy.
I got to check it out. I've never been here.
All right, so proceeding on to the town of Saltmarsh then, I take it?
Yes.
Yay. Yep, there goes the wagons again.
Sorry, everybody. I just never been here before. I just wanted to check it out.
No, that's okay.
He just wanted to put his feet in the water and enjoy the moment.
Yeah.
Hey, I got the T-shirt that says I've been here. Okay.
Yeah. Yes.
And the map is loading. Bear with me.
Oh, we got it up already.
Oh, good, because I can't see it yet.
No, that's okay. Yeah, it's
there.
It's the one that you threw up before, right? The looks like a little farmland, some houses, little roads, some trees,
and a little wall with a gate.
Yeah, something like
refresh.
that.
Yeah. It may disconnect for a second. I had to refresh.
Oh. He needs a short rest.
Right? There we go. Can you still see the map?
Yeah.
Yes, sir.
Okay, good. All right. I had to refresh. It wasn't loading on my screen. Okay, so let me get into my Saltmarsh here.
I can't believe KJ found cart music or background track of a cart rolling. That's awesome, man.
That's what it says. It says traveling. So
I
also have
gotta
one that
say,
says tavern.
yeah, that's awesome, man. That's awesome. Super glad you went the extra mile. I appreciate it. And I'm sure the fans will
roll
too.
extra characters like you did, but hey, I try.
Well, with the way I'm rolling dice, I'm glad I rolled up a few extras. Just I got a bad feeling old Edward may not be Ironhide for very long.
So here's a brief National Geographic version of the overview of the town of Saltmarsh. If you can imagine, in my best David Attenborough impersonation. Saltmarsh, roughly 5,000 residents, and a predominantly human with a dwarven mining contingent of about 200 workers. But no, seriously, yeah, Saltmarsh has got about 5,000 residents. It's a pretty good established town. This is what you know about the area. Predominantly human. As you approach the comings and goings of people through the main gate, and let me ping the map. And so we're going to be in this area here of the main gate. You notice that the comings and goings of townsmen and villagers, any of the other non-human races such as elves or halflings, they really don't. I mean, they seem to just fit in. They don't draw any special notice. You get the feeling that Saltmarsh is a well-established bastion, maybe of civilization, kind of in the midst of a untamed region. You do notice around the walls that there is an established guards, and there appears to be militia and defense. There's armed guards at the checkpoints. There appears to be guard patrols. It looks pretty civilized for the town. The city gate. Saltmarsh was built on the ruins of a much older settlement, sometimes called Old Saltmarsh or the Old Harbor. One sign of this is you'd notice that the town, had to sneeze, is that the town, there's a stretch of wall in the town that the single gate, there's a couple of guards at the gate, but the parts of the wall are old and crumbling and badly worn as if by centuries of rain and wind coming directly off the sea. And I'm going to open up the map a little bit for you here. Down to the bottom of the map, you'll notice that there is the sea, the Azure Sea, and the coastline down here. So the town is directly on the coast.
Okay.
The garrison, as you pass through the garrison, the gate consists of older guards, almost as if it looks like maybe a couple of them are nearing retirement. They don't seem to be doing a lot of walking. However, their eyes are sharp, and they appear to be talking and visiting with the people comings and goings. And that's it for passing through the gate. Merrick, of course, tells you that we are going to be going to the Wicker Goat. I will ping the map.
The bar.
Which is there. That building is the Wicker Goat.
Okay.
Which is where you will be stabling for the night. It is now, let's just say, mid-afternoon, about 3 o'clock, so you're in between lunch and supper. The guards are being housed in the barn to take care of the cart and the horses and to keep an eye on the wares. Merrick has disappeared himself inside the Wicker Goat. It seems like he's meeting with acquaintances and they're ducking off into whereabouts unknown. He seems to be or appears to be conducting business and meeting contacts, and he looks as if he is pretty established with the contacts here. And so that leaves the three of us, Kai, Edward, and Marcus, in the tavern or the inn of the Wicker Goat.
Well, I suppose it's as good as time of any to go up and order a house ale and have me a seat somewhere and wait for our
Yes.
caravan leader to return from his shady dealings in the back room.
Can I hit up the bartender to just get some general information out of him?
Yes, one moment. I'm pulling up my NPC list here.
You can sit down by the fire and dry your soggy boots.
Yeah.
I'm going to just stomp around the tavern with them.
Squish, 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 squish.
Exactly.
Getting their nice clean
So-
floors all messy.
Edward, you contact the there's no serving wenches or maidens. It's the middle of the afternoon. It's
Damn.
somewhat empty of a tavern, as if because it's kind of towards the latter part of the workday, and people seem to be comings and goings doing business. However, on the menu tonight is a miner's plate, which consists of salted pork, pickled onions, and fried tubers. There's the Goat's Kick Ale, which is a local brew with a smoky finish, favored by the town watch, that the bartender will tell you. And for dessert, pickled eel bites, which is a local delicacy. The bartender explains. However, you don't really know if it's really eel bites or not. And then
Probably
all of
chicken.
that for yeah,
It tastes like chicken, I'm sure. Yeah.
And quick question on your starting equipment, did you guys equip yourself with starting money?
I believe so.
Inventory, right?
Yes. You will notice, and outside of character, in the campaign, that there's not a lot of Dungeons and Dragons campaigns. I don't like Monty Hall campaigns where you're rolling around with thousands of gold pieces in your bag of holding. I try to keep the money
Right.
down to a realistic level. For example, your wages working for Merrick are 5 gold pieces a week, with a bonus of 5 gold pieces, of which you have been paid out both your weekly stipend and the bonus for transporting the caravan as promised around the mire of dead men. So Merrick will issue out 10 gold pieces to everybody, so you can add that to your inventory. But
Okay.
yeah, as far as money wise, keep track of your gold. It will be a factor. So that being said, back into character, you can basically get yourself a good, decent meal to keep you occupied for a little bit for around 1 gold piece.
All right. Now I got to subtract a gold piece then.
Yeah. Kai will join you at the table. He will order a stronger drink. A Saltmarsh black rum is what he's going to order. Which is a strong, briny rum rumored to be cut with seaweed extract, is kind of the description on that one. He orders a double in a shot glass and with no food. Marcus, you approach the bartender. The bartender introduces himself as Borlin the Cask Hand Dern, and he's a dwarf. He introduces himself as a bartender, and he calls himself, and I will use air quotes here since the co-owner of the Wicker Goat is kind of the story that he gives you. Yes, my name is Borlin, and I am the air quotes co-owner of the Wicker Goat, even though there's no air quotes, but you get that kind of feeling.
Right. Correct. Right.
What can I do for you?
What seems to be happening in this town?
Oh my goodness, lots of happenings. People are working, ships comings and goings, lots of trade.
Anything unusual?
Well, my friend, it depends on what your definition of unusual is.
Any missing persons, tales of hidden treasure, anything like that?
Well, he tips back and grabs his belly and shakes. There's always tales of hidden treasure coming from the Azure Sea, my friend. I could spin you hours of yarns of tales from the sailors coming in. Perhaps you have a specific interest in mind. What sort of tale? I can spin you all kinds of tales. This is a sailor town. Everybody has a tale coming off the boats.
I was trying to think. No missing persons or anything like that. No hidden treasures nearby, or like I said, strange creatures being seen around the town.
Well, my friend, slow down. One question at a time here. One question at a time. He takes out his bar towel and he wipes off the bar. And let me see, missing persons. And he goes over to the ledger, to the for the rooms, and he's checked out this morning. No, According to my ledger, no, everybody's accounted for. No missing persons here.
No tale of unknown strange creatures running amok through the town.
Well, again, this is a seaport. I see cages coming and going on ships. Who knows what they have in them? I would call them strange creatures, but they're usually covered in cloths, and they're headed up to Neverwinter and down to Waterdeep, and who knows what kind of creatures that they have. I'm just a bartender. I don't meddle with the comings and goings of the merchant crews.
No, but you hear talk.
Of course I hear talk. Everybody talk. This is a tavern.
But no juicy information that some travelers might find useful.
Juicy information. With that, he takes his grubby fingers and runs them through his beard. Juicy information. And with his other hand, he kind of slides it across the bar with an open palm.
Yep, you're going to have to grease them.
Grubby fingers.
Yeah, grease them.
Let me see juicy information.
I press one gold piece into his palm.
Well, let me see here. I do hear that on the outskirts of town, on a cliff, is an old house that used to belong to an alchemist. We haven't seen any sign of the alchemist in decades, years, in fact. But it is, as long as the house has been unoccupied, it appears that at nighttime people have been seeing strange lights coming from the windows of the house. And his voice gets lower, and he looks around as if he's telling you something that, maybe he shouldn't be, telling you. He's kind of keeping it quiet as he leans in close.
Did the alchemist have a name?
Let me see. Not that I'm aware of. We just called him the alchemist.
And just disappeared. How long ago did you say he disappeared?
Oh, this is decades ago. Sometime he usually kept to himself, and he would come into town for supplies and for trading. But it's been some time since we've seen him. Yeah. But it is unusual that even though his house is abandoned, that recently we've been seeing lights and a mist and strange weather going on around the house.
Interesting. Lights and mists around the house. All right. Anything else you can tell me about it?
Well, roll me a d20.
Okay, sorry, just making notes.
No, you're fine.
D20. No, boy. Yeah, that's really good.
Now, were you asking him specifically about the house, or were you asking him about another room?
No, about the house.
Yes. Well, I'm sorry. My hearing is bad. Could you repeat the question?
Do you have anything else to tell us about the house?
Well, he leans in really close as he's wiping the counter down, and his other hand comes across the counter, and his grubby fingers are kind of wiggling in the air. Let me see. I'm having a hard time recalling.
He needs another gold injection.
I look at him, look at his hands, and then I pass him another gold piece. So I give.
Well, it is told that the alchemist who lived there, and he leans in really close and he kind of whispers. It is told that the alchemist who lived there never actually died. He just kind of, and he wiggles his fingers in the air, dissolved into the mist.
Okay.
And it is also said that the house is cursed, and anyone who enters hears voices calling them by their name. Oh, and he kind of shudders. Oh, he makes like a little sign in the air, and he says, that's enough. I need to tend to my ledgers. And he goes off and pretends to get lost in his ledger book for the inn.
Okay. All right. So he goes off to do that. All right. So I'm going to go and sit down with the group and recant the story of what I found out about the house on the cliff.
Well, it seems as if you found an exciting travel destination to look into. Not certain I like the idea of it whispering my name upon entry, so we may have to send one of those guards in first.
Well, what do you think? I mean, we got him here. How long is he going to be upstairs or wherever he's disappeared off to? I mean, should we go check it out?
I wonder if it's somewhere close enough we can get to before dark. How far is this cliff, did he say?
No, he did not.
I am going to send both of you a private message real quick. So we're going to take a brief pause while I type this out.
And now a word from our sponsor.
Yeah. What do we have for that? Do we have a sponsor? No, we don't.
No.
Well, let's see.
Okay, message sent to Marcus.
Tavern music works out very nicely.
Did you get the message?
Yes, I did.
Okay. As you hear that, when you're looking at Kai, his mouth never moves, but he's staring right at you.
Okay. I kind of shake my head in disbelief that I'm thinking I'm hearing things. I look at him and ask, why?
Again, in your head, you hear this.
Oh boy, ladies and gentlemen, he's hearing voices. We ain't even got to the house yet.
Okay.
And again, Kai is staring right at you with an intense stare.
Hey, Kai, relax.
Kai will cross his arms as if very defensively and sits back in his chair and just gives you a scowl.
Oh boy.
I'm gonna go up to the bartender again, and I'm gonna. What'd you say was on tap?
Are you asking the bartender?
Yes.
Yes. We have Goat's Kick Ale, the Saltmarsh Black Rum, and today's special is Courage Reserve, which is a rare dwarven whiskey. I normally only serve it to trusted patrons, but for you, my friend, I'll break open a bottle.
All right. Give me one of those and whatever Kai's drinking.
Kai is drinking, out of character, a Saltmarsh Black Rum.
All right. What's the damage?
As he holds out his grubby hands, that will be 5 silver pieces, please.
5 silver.
I can make change, he tells you. If you hand him a gold, he'll make change and give you 5 silver back.
All right, done.
Okay, so you have your drinks, and I take it you head back over towards the table?
Mm-hmm. And I give Kai another one of his drinks.
As you do so, Merrick walks in through the front door, and he seems to be in good spirits and smiling and
Hope so. He's been drinking all day.
Yeah, he orders something from the bartender, and comes and sits down and leans in quietly as if to talk to you guys. He says, "You've heard the stories, haven't you?"
Which stories?
You know, the old mansion on the cliff.
About the alchemist?
A story, yeah.
Yeah, the one the locals, they say it's called cursed.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I've been asking around. Some of them say it's empty. A lot of them say it's haunted. And then he leans in real close and he looks everybody dead in the eye and he says, "That's a lie."
Which part?
How do you know?
With that, he reaches into his satchel and pulls out a crumpled parchment from his coat, which appears to be an old map. It seems to be marked with stains and salty, and he points at the map, and it looks like a map of a goat path out, to X marks the spot kind of outside of the town. He says, I've been there. I've seen movement there in the night, lanterns flickering behind boarded windows. Seems as if I've seen figures wandering about the cellar, and the kind that don't breathe. He says, something's nesting in that house, something that shouldn't be. He kind of sits back and he pauses.
Do you think the alchemist created something?
He says, I think that there's more at foot than just the alchemist, but it is definitely worth a look-see because we need to establish a base of operations. I need to have dealings with the merchants in the port, and since there's no housing available, an abandoned house seems like a place to set up shop, and maybe we can I can hire some workers to go up there and we could fix it up and turn it into a new warehouse for me to bring my wares to the city.
So you need us to help you clear out the house?
I would like to, yes. But
right.
Not just because I think that the house is haunted. He says, I think that there's a trail, smugglers, other things. The house is not quite what it appears to be, but I don't know because I've so far I've never been able to gather enough help to go up and check the house out. But I know that there's other things that are afoot here in the city.
Ed, are you game?
Oh, what are we waiting for? I'm certainly not sticking around for that pickled eel, so let's hit her.
So with that, Merrick says, "Okay, we will outfit ourselves tonight. I'm going to give you in advance of 50 gold each to purchase or
Holy
source out
moly.
whatever equipment that you think that you might need. And the three of you will head up to the house in the morning." And with that, he doles out 3 coin purses and he drops them on the table, one in front of each of you. And if you open up and look inside, it appears to be filled with gold coins.
Nice.
Make sure to add that to the character sheet.
Whoops. Didn't mean to ping that. I apologize.
I was going to say, holy moly.
So where's the town market?
Well, you'll have to wander into town and find out.
All right. You guys ready? Or are you guys still nursing your beers?
Kai will nod and as if he's anxious to go.
Ed?
Yeah.
Or you want to wait for the eel?
No, I've already heard some mumblings about it. I'm going to take a hard pass on the eel, but I'll slam down the rest of the old tankard here and stand up, slam down my hand on the table. Let's do this.
All right, I'm going to kind of reveal some of the map.
Yep, let's go ahead and reveal the map, and then we'll take a look at it, and then we'll. I think that might be a good place to stop, unless you guys want to continue on.
So here's the town of Saltmarsh.
Nice. We can take a quick break. Because when I drink coffee, then it has to go somewhere.
Amen. Yeah.
All right, we will.
Well, I'll tell you what. We are going to end the episode on that cliffhanger. We're all standing up to leave the tavern and head into town to outfit ourselves with whatever 50 gold will buy us here, and we'll be back again soon for the next episode. Thanks everybody for listening and watching. Hopefully you're enjoying this, and hit us with comments and whatever else you can. And we'll see you again soon. Take care.